Thank you so much. Good evening. My name is Councilman Washington. Today I'm joined by Councilman at Large Miles Tolliver. Today for the Ways and Means Committee meeting, Monday, August 24th, 5:30 p.m. I do want to take a brief moment of silence for all those still impacted with the most recent storm that took place this month. Thank you. With that, I just want to say my heart goes out on behalf of the council to all those still impacted with the most recent storm. And by all means, just know we are here for you. Please do not stop calling because we continue to work for you all. That being stated, on today's agenda, we're going to start off with CPO 2026-31, an ordinance establishing a new fund and appropriations for the lane mile direct distribution from the state of Indiana, sponsored by Mayor Eddie D. Melton, City of Gary, Shanika Beck, City Controller. Good afternoon.
Good evening, William Allen, City Engineer. Just to give a little bit of extra information about the ordinance, this is another funding opportunity similar to Community Crossings Grant Match where we can receive funds from the state in order to be applied to improvements with our infrastructure. So paving opportunities, sidewalks, curb replacements, projects of that nature. The total dollar amount that is mentioned in the ordinance is a amount of $277,582.91.
Excellent. Just one question. In regards to the 277, how much work did I actually complete in the city of Gary?
Just depends on what application we use. So, for example, you can replace an entire block for that includes curb, sidewalks for $90,000 for curb, and then probably like an additional 50 per side. So roughly $150,000 if you wanted to do a whole block, replace curb and sidewalk. If you want to repave, that's roughly $35,000 a block, just depending on what application. That's a inch and a half mill and pave.
No, thank you. And I'm looking at the project scope, Sal. So it's just, what, these 5 different applications? Reduces the risk to human life undertaken by local unit, transportation assets, repairs to local roads and bridges. So do we have any plans? Is this already earmarked for any current projects that we're currently working on?
No. This
Okay.
is just us receiving the funding so
Okay.
that we can
Gotcha.
apply
So
it to-
still don't have like a
Correct.
plan per se.
Right.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you. Councilman?
What has been reported to NDOT as of now?
What do you mean?
With the lane mileage and stuff like that, have you reported anything to NDOT with the mileage and surveyed? Are we on the same actual mileage? So does NDOT know everything that we're trying to do?
Every other year we submit a capital plan to NDOT, which pretty much highlights all the work that has been done throughout the cities, which streets got repaved, and then what we plan to do in the future. I think our next submission is this year, December. So yeah, every other year we have to submit that information in order for us to receive funds like Community Crossings and this opportunity here.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Thank you. We'll move on to CPO 2026-32, an ordinance approving the 2026-2027 Partner Service Grant Budget for the City of Gary Health Department, sponsored by Mayor Eddie D. Melton, City of Gary, Shanika Beck, City Controller, Katrina Walker, Interim Director of Gary Health Department.
Okay, good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
everyone. So before you, we have CPO 2026-3032. This is for our second amendment from Indiana Department of Health. This is for our Partner Services Grant. So this is the second amendment. We recently received a third amendment. This amendment is coming before you. It's going to be changed just a bit slightly. The funding here went up by $55,900, but the third amendment went up by $180,708, which you don't have before you. I'll send to you. However, I do know that we won't use all those funds because this grant only carries until February. So we want to make certain that we're able to use whatever is allotted that they're going to give us to use. The only thing we won't be using within the salaries is the 41,000 series, which is for salaries. We will use the 42,000 and 43,000, but you'll see that. I'll send that over to you. so you're made aware.
Just one thing. When we discuss, we're not going to use all the money. Could we just elaborate to the community? Because a lot of
Yeah.
times people think, how can you not use all this money that we had? We know we need it.
So what happens is this is a reimbursement grant. So it's not money that's fronted to us up front. The city actually force the money out, and then what we do is we draw those funds down. So any receipt-based evidence, we can
Yep.
do that. So when I say we're not going to use the money, it's not that we don't want to, but I wanted to align salaries to these positions. However, it's no guarantee that the funding will be there in '27 when we restart the budget. So
Gotcha.
I didn't think it would make sense to hire someone in and then have to terminate their position.
That makes sense.
Because it changes
Yeah.
frequently. So, not that we can't use it, but everything that we can use it for, we're going to spend it.
Just another question. Over the years you've been here, well, just previously, how has that budget changed year to year with that grant?
From what I've seen, it does go down. So it kind of depends. So currently, there is a program that the state uses, and it's kind of housed out of Lake County. It's called the Aliveness. What this budget does is it caters to our DIS specialists, which is disease intervention specialists that we have within the health department, and they monitor cases as far as any kind of disease that someone may come in contact with. We also have a loss to care where people just kind of give up on themselves and they don't actually take the care in. We have a DIS person that's outlined that goes into the community, find them, make sure that they're caught up with all the medication, they're getting the mental therapy that they may need. So it has changed quite a bit. Prior to me coming in, I think the budget for 25 was 335, 513, 25, 26, but that 24, 25 budget was a little less.
Okay.
So the more funding that we get, that just shows that the cases have spiked up, and that's why they send us the additional funding, so we can put the people in place. But then again, the way the budget runs, you don't want to bring anyone on, and we don't have that funding to carry them throughout for
Gotcha.
the next year.
Thank you so much. I do want to add, we are joined also by Councilman Dwight Williams. I do want to say happy belated birthday to his 26th birthday. It's been
Yay!
anybody else want to add? Councilman Tolliver?
I wanted to ask, how much money is going to be allocated just for the community?
I'm sorry.
How much money is going to be allocated just towards the services for the community with that grant? And then I also wanted to ask you, does the city of Gary have to match any of that grant money?
So it's not necessarily a match. The city, so the controller or the city would actually front the money up front, and then we would do the drawdown, or we would send in those receipts. So it can be salary based, anything that's outlined within this budget. So if it's salaries, if it's laptop expenses, anything that the city would pay for up front, we then request and draw down those funds from them. And they're pretty quickly about getting back to us. It's like a net 30 or something like that once we spend it out. All of these funds associated with this partner services budget goes back into the city, basically. The services provided by the specialists that work, the DIS providers. So we have on this budget 3 DIS providers, a fiscal clerk. Myself, as a portion of my salary comes from this, and then the program manager who has environmental management, that's with the health inspectors, and the DIS people. So all of the money catered to this budget does go back into the community with the exception of the salaries, but we all work for the city, so.
Right. Do we have a firm number that's going to go back into the community yet, or no?
This entire budget, with the exception of anything that we don't do a reimbursement on. So
Okay.
everything goes back into the community.
I just want to be clear for the community that's listening. And then lastly, I know we talked about salaries. It has nothing to do with the benefits, does it?
No, not at all. So, well, what does come out of this is our fringes. They do come out of this, yes.
Okay.
So everything. So our salaries, our fringes, et cetera. And then we're actually working on that portion now so that we can start drawing some of those fringes back to put back into the general fund for the city.
Sounds good. Thank you for all your work, Ms.
You're
Walker.
welcome. Thank you.
Councilman Williams? Anything? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll look forward to that third amendment for tomorrow. Thank you, I appreciate you. CPL 2026-35, an ordinance creating new funds for the City of Gary Art House, sponsored by Mayor Eddie D. Melton, City of Gary Shanika A. Beck, City Controller.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mr. Chair and other council members. So we have the next 2 ordinances are going to be related to the Art House. So the first one is just to establish a new fund. So earlier this year, we would say February or March, the Art House that's located on 5th Avenue, it did have a private owner. That private owner was no longer able to maintain the building. And so they essentially had a conversation with with Mayor Eddie Melton, and the city was able to acquire the building. As far as overall plans, we do want to turn it into a community center. There is a restaurant that's attached to the back. There are several rooms. There's a full bar space in the middle. And so for right now, we just want to establish this fund so that once the renovations and repairs have been made and we're able to open it, any amounts that we make in revenue will go into this fund, and essentially the maintenance of the building will be able to be maintained using these funds as well.
Cool. Just a couple quick questions. So we talk about creating this new fund. I take it from there, we're going to have a salary position that comes out of there as well?
So
Is that
we
the thought?
have not had
Okay.
that discussion yet.
Okay.
I think the current plan is for the economic development team along with the redevelopment team to either have some office space in there,
Mm-hmm.
but essentially they're kind of in charge. We haven't had any discussion on bringing anyone new to the team as of
Okay.
yet.
I guess I was confused a little bit at first. I know when that transaction first happened, I thought it was redevelopment that it went to. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so ownership of the building does sit with redevelopment,
Mm-hmm.
but economic development has a hand in it. It's all hands on deck.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
And we'll kind of go into that on the next ordinance because even community development has been pitching in. And so, like I said, to answer
Mm-hmm.
your question, no plans to hire anyone new, but the teams are pitching in to get it ready.
Okay. Do we have any, so with that creation of a new fund, has there been conversation yet about time for opening?
So because we're all very optimistic, we thought that could happen this summer,
Yeah.
especially with the storm now. It's not
Given
going to happen this
circumstances.
year. So the thing is, we want the community center to be ready and we want it to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So that building itself has 8 HVAC units on the roof,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe half or maybe more than half were not fully functional. And so just to make sure that we have a building that has air, that has heat, that's clean, we needed to get some industrial cleaning in the kitchen and all those things. It is going to be pushed back a bit. So if I had to guess, just because
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
we're coming up on the winter months pretty soon, it might be a next year event.
No, that's fine. I guess my follow-up would then be, so with the ownership in between different departments, will this be going to redevelopment, the contracts per se, or RFPs? I know Ms. Sharp is here as well. Will we have any concrete invoices, I'm guessing, that go to redevelopment versus the city?
Yeah, so for right now, the operational costs are mostly being funneled through redevelopment.
Okay.
So we still have NIPSCO, we have the water
Yeah.
bill, we have the alarm system. They're covering those as they can, but any rehabilitation expenses, and that's what the next ordinance is about, right now are being funded by our community development team.
Okay, sounds good. Council members? Oh, I do want to acknowledge Councilwoman Ivy has joined us as well. Councilman Tolliver?
Yes. What is the current condition of the art house? I know it's in pretty bad shape. Do we see it exceeding over 400,000?
Yes, and again, it's just because we have to do some deep cleaning in the kitchen, deep cleaning on the floor. We have to do some painting. I wouldn't say it's in terrible condition. I would say most of the work will happen in that restaurant space that's in the back. But we're even having discussions that maybe we could find a partner that would renovate that on behalf of the city for, you know, some type of rental arrangement. So we're still very much so in conversations on what it's going to take to get to the finish line. But with the HVAC and then the maintenance and changes that we need to do to the outside of the building, like those lights have to come down. We have to, it's a lot. So we do see it exceeding 400,000.
Wow. Okay. And then lastly, I know you said you were trying to find a community partnership to help fix it, but are we going to put out a bid for it if that doesn't go through? And have we thought of anybody yet?
So no one has been selected, and I think that we're still in progress with all of those pieces. Because I think we want to see how far we can get on our own with the 400,000, hoping that we can open up the general space. And then once that gets opened up, we get revenue in the door, then we can put even more investment into it and find, more of a stable partner for the restaurant piece.
Now, because you're so sharp, I just want to ask you this question. We know that it was going to go over 400,000. Have we had somebody come in and assess that building to say how much it would be for us to get that to where we want it to be?
Absolutely. So we have 2 appraisals, and maybe Ms. Sharp could comment on that. But we did 2 separate appraisals, one through redevelopment and one through community development, because essentially even when we get to the place where we want to rent it out as a community center, we don't want to just throw a number out. We want to say, hey guys, we've done the research, we've assessed that the building is worth this space is worth this, and this is how we're pricing it. Did you want to add? Oh, okay.
Okay, so can we know the appraisal?
We do not have the appraisals back yet.
Okay.
2 appraisals, and we'll average the price of those 2 appraisals, and that will be public information.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Councilman Williams?
Thank you. Now, I just wanted to know the cost, well, not the cost, the appraisals myself. You said there's gonna be 3 done totally? 2?
Sorry, what was the question?
How many appraisals?
Oh, we're gonna get 2.
2?
Mhm.
And can we have the names of the companies that or did you say it already? Am I-
Do you know the names of the company?
I do believe I know the names, but I want to be accurate, so I will email you the names of the companies.
Okay, fair enough.
So, I was gonna wait to redevelopment where we have typically less eyes. That number just seems kind of high for me. I know I know right now is just we're setting aside a budget. It could just be my ignorance, but I was like from the ground up, I feel like I can build that. That number just seems exceptionally high given what the community has seen of that facility over the years. You know, you had individuals who wanted to work with the art house and were told no because it was private ownership and then charging an arm and leg. I don't see it in me to justify $400,000 for that building. I'm sorry, just given the circumstances. That's why if it's coming to redevelopment, I do want to have a conversation about that when it comes to us because $400,000, how many square feet is that? 3,000, if that.
Yeah.
400 grand for 3,000 square feet seems kind of astronomical to me.
What we can do is, over the next week, is work through consolidating all of our estimates
Okay.
into a 1-pager, and
Yeah.
we'll make sure that we present it at the redevelopment commission for that information.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I just given the circumstances with the public, what they're dealing with, they hear $400,000. I'd rather put that towards tree removal at this time. So, but Councilman Williams, thank you so much.
One last question. When was the last time it was used?
I do not recall.
No, I mean by the community, not by the council.
Yeah, I don't know. When was it last used? Yeah. Counselor Tolliver, I think that you're right, because you had, when we first had the ADA concerns over at City Hall, there was a council meeting held over there, and that probably,
For your hard work, Ms. Sharp.
Thank you both. I want to recognize Madam President Linda Bars Caldwell, and then also Councilman Halliburton has joined us as well. Thank you so much. We can cover 26, 27 if you want, 37. I know it's a joint, but if you just want to cover it real quick.
30, 35, and 36?
Yes, please.
Okay, so again, just related to the art house, we established a new fund where we're requesting to establish a new fund with 2026-35, and then 2026-36 is in relation to the funding that we're discussing. So from the community development block grant, in order to renovate the building and get it ready to be serviced as a community center, we have allocated $400,000. And this specific ordinance, it does need to be retroactively passed to around March 1st because some of that work has been done. And I know that there's a question around $400,000 being a lot, but just some of the quotes that we've gotten to remove those glass lights that are on the outside that don't work anymore, that's a huge part of this, as well as the industrial cleaning that has to take place.
Will we get a list of the work that has been done?
Absolutely. We can definitely do that.
Madam President.
Ms. Beck, is this the whole entire building or just half of the building?
It's allocated for the entire building, including the restaurant space in the back.
Mama Pearls is included?
Yes.
The restaurant adjacent to it?
That's the connected to it that we can access. Yes. And that's in pretty rough shape as well. There's a lot of work, cleaning, ceiling tiles, lots of things that need to be repaired.
Yeah, I would expect more money to be put into Mother Pearls than the actual art house.
And I think you were walking in, Councilman. It's hard to say which part of the building needs the most work, but I do understand just based on aesthetics, how it looks. But I think our hope would be if we find the right restaurant partner, they may be willing to renovate that space with, you know, some type of concessions from the city. But that's not something I can say, you know, for sure. We just have to have discussions and meet the right partner.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
the lights that's on the outside is what makes that building unique. And I understand you said that they are not working anymore. Has it been looked into to get them back working where we won't have to pay for the removal of those lights on the exterior?
So, Councilman Ivy, I agree. Those lights make that building very unique. It stands out from the highway. Unfortunately, the specific light bulbs that kind of fit into there, not only do they pose kind of a public safety risk because they fall and they could hit someone, one of our constituents, one of our residents, and we want to avoid that. We're also not even able to find them. So they have done some research on, you know, where we could locate them, but we haven't found them. So if it is really dark and you're driving past that building, you'll see only a few of those lights actually work. So the discussion was to just take them down, and we'll either just paint the building or try to find some type of fixture that allows it to, you know, be seen from the highway and just from different parts in the city.
Okay, and then, the jobs that we are looking for on the interior, will those be publicly advertised?
Yes, so anything that's above 100,000, we absolutely have to do a bid for.
Okay, and will we give price preference for local business or minority business?
Will we give price preference? That has not been discussed. I know that we're just gonna start with the appraisals, which are still being done. As soon as those come in, I think that's when we'll be able to set prices for the specific spaces, and then we'll go from there.
And who would be the team to review the seal quotes as they come in?
So it just depends on what the quote relates to, because we definitely want to involve the right teams. So if it's a cleaning quote or something like that, we'll definitely take it over to our building superintendent and get their kind of, you know, weigh in on it. But those quotes are always opened at the Board of Works.
And there has been specifications drawn up, or there will be,
Specifically for,
for the work that needs to be
oh,
done for the
it's still in,
400,000?
yeah, still in progress. But we can, like I just mentioned to Councilman Williams, we can get a list of what has been performed so far, and then we can include the estimates, and that'll at least give you guys an idea of, like, you know, what we can get done with this 400,000 and what's left to do.
All right.
Colleagues.
One more question.
Madam President.
My apologies for
No
being
problem.
late. Are we going to continue to use the kitchen like we did before, maybe for a community kitchen when different, organizations were able to use it, or so?
Yeah, in conversations with Mayor, that is the intent, is that once the space is ready, we'll be able to open it for community kitchens and other community events.
Chairman,
Councilman Halliburton.
good evening, everyone. I'm just curious about, that building hasn't been successful as a long run in that area. What are we going to do so much that we didn't do in the past that will be the success in the future for that building?
That's a really good question, Councilman. And I think it's around making sure that the people know what they can do with the building and advertising it as a community hub. There are plenty of local businesses, plenty of local community organizations. They're looking for a space either to have a meeting or to have an event. And so I think with the proper publicity and the proper pricing, and maybe even specific organizations might be eligible for some type of discount or something like that, we'll flush all of that out and we'll work towards it being a success with the collaboration of our redevelopment commission, our community development department, as well as our economic development department.
Colleagues. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's move on to CPO 2026-37. Orders accepting the City of Gary Graffiti Removal Task Force, grants from Lake County Board of Commissioners, and appropriating the funds, sponsored by Mayor Ada D. Melton, City of Gary, Shinigay Beck, City Controller.
Council, this ordinance, pending ordinance 2026-37, is really exciting because we are in partnership with Lake County. This is a partnership that has been in the works for a couple years, Chief Suggs, I might ask that you come up and share more about this partnership. But essentially, as we're all aware, we do have graffiti throughout our city, and we want to work hard to remove that. And so our partnership with Lake County, they're going to give us grant funds in the amount of $300,000 specifically for removing graffiti across the city.
Cool. How's it going, Chief?
Going real good, thank you. Good evening,
Good evening.
council members, council president, committee chair. Thank you for this opportunity. This graffiti ordinance is one that's really significant to us because of the mayor's desire to remove graffiti as soon as we see it. And we're just very appreciative for the members of the county that supported this effort and allowed this $300,000 to come to help finance the preparation of our graffiti teams. Currently, we have 2 graffiti teams that we're trying to equip with the type of material and paint and pressure washers and other material to get this graffiti off and really incent those trespassers to, hey, this is not worth the effort. They're just not going to let it stay. So we're doing that, and corporate council was able to write up a graffiti ordinance last year so that we would be able to charge the owners of that property if they don't go and remediate this on their own. And if we have to remediate, we're going to make sure that we get reimbursed by putting a lien on the property and what have you. And so this is what this is for, and we are encouraged with the opportunity that we have to clean up our city and hopefully keep it clean.
Chief Suggs, you're not supposed to bring up that ordinance from last year. We all got a little in trouble for that one. But I appreciate you for sharing that. So just a couple questions. Do we have a targeted plan of attack? Or are we just taking the funds that we have from the county and combining that with the process we already have in place to expedite or to just get more resources? Or is there a particular plan we're going to enact now that we have additional resources?
Well, the target was to increase our capacity, and we were able to do that from just an ad hoc team to be able to respond to actually training and supplying some capacity through, and actually this came through our Work Big program and our partners with Ivy Tech and Center of Workforce Innovation, trying to get our team up to speed on how we can remediate this and responding. We want to be very responsive to the graffiti that we see and just be consistent with that.
Thank you. Colleagues, Councilman Tyler.
I first want to say thank you for your leadership during this time, and you and the rest of the administration. You guys have been doing a terrific job during this disaster.
Thank you, sir.
I wanted to ask you, with this $300,000, just in your view with it, how many properties do you think that we could clear with the $300,000 when it comes to graffiti?
So it really depends. To give you an idea, when we remediated over at the Horace Mann High School there, and all of the graffiti, you remember that whole first level, that bottom level was just graffiti from the west end all the way to the east. And we were getting 5-gallon buckets. And those buckets were, I think they were close to $125 a bucket. And I can't remember, but we used probably about 30, 40 buckets to paint that graffiti. So it's a very expensive, to answer your question, it's a very expensive venture. Getting the material and the equipment to do it, and we're learning. We're learning things that work. We thought, well, yeah, this pressure washer is going to really work, but it really depends on the paint, the type of paint, and what we're doing. And we found to be a quicker remedy. Sometimes it's just to paint over it, depending on what the background of the material is. So I don't look for this $300,000 to last a long period of time, but we're trying to be creative internally and using the fines and all those other things. So we're going to still learn. We're going to do this process and learn as we go. But one of the things we're going to do, we're going to be consistent in trying to make sure we attack that graffiti within our city.
Absolutely. I don't know if you saw it, Councilman Wissington. It was a gentleman in a U-Haul van that was actually pressure washing today some graffiti. Is he part of our team now?
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of it.
Okay. All right. I saw a gentleman on the way here that was actually in the U-Haul doing that.
Where was that location, Councilman?
That was right before you get on I-65.
Okay.
Yep. My next question would be, can we do a before and after of the properties that we're doing and make sure we get that out to the public so we can let them know that 300,000 is being used all the way through.
Well, thank you for saying that, because that's been something that we're trying to remind the team. Make sure you take a before shot and an after shot, but certainly that's the plan, to make sure we show everyone what we're doing to keep our city clean and what it looked like before we were out to remediate.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
One question, simple question.
Yes,
What
sir.
color paint are you gonna use?
Pardon?
What color paint? If you're
What
gonna-
color?
Yeah, if you're gonna paint
So
it.
we have been using anywhere from black, brown, and kind of a light tan that kind of matches concrete taupe looking. So we're trying to get something that's kind of a general that you can see, it doesn't stand out and blends in. If you look at there on I keep forgetting the roundabout coming off of 12 that goes under in Miller there, and that it's always heavily graffiti. Always, and we're there, and we've got to paint. If you look at it now, if you take a quick look, it's like, oh, it looks nice, but that paint doesn't quite match, but it does look a lot better than the graffiti that's there.
Colleagues, anything else?
Is that okay?
Councilman Halliburton?
Okay, great.
There's a big difference, in my opinion, between a mural and a graffiti. That old NIPSCO building on Broadway, I don't know what that is. Is that
Graffiti.
Okay, we need to get that removed. That should be the first project, please.
Now, I'm sorry, are we working on other people's property or just our own?
Well, we are citing in regards to the plans is to let owners, property owners, know when they have graffiti and their facility looks like it needs to be remediated. We are letting those owners know.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Chief.
you for the opportunity.
Thank you all. All right, we will move on to CPL 2026-38, an ordinance accepting a donation and establishing additional appropriation in the police donation fund. Sponsored by Mayor Eddie D. Melton, City of Gary, Shanika A. Beck, City Controller, Gary Police Department.
Council, we have Chief Cannon to be able to speak to this ordinance.
How you doing tonight, Chief?
Great, you?
Man, I'm blessed.
Awesome. Greetings to Council President, greetings Chairman, and also to the other council members. I'm here in reference to an ordinance to accept a donation in reference to the Hard Rock's contribution to our animal shelter that is going to be constructed here shortly.
Council members, I believe we voted on this, last year? The complete, please remind me what the complete budget was for this. It's like 1.8, 1.5 for this animal shelter?
So we've had some adjustments during that time. Unfortunately, we're in a time period where economics and buildings has just gotten ridiculous, to tell you the truth. And so our budget now has been increased, and right now we're at $2,792,140. And so I want to thank Ms. Sharp and her team for getting a lot of different funding mechanisms in place, and this $500,000 from the Hard Rock Casino is one of those pieces to the puzzle.
Okay. Thank you so much. I can hear my colleagues' whispers as the number I quoted versus the number that we just stated. So can we, I don't know, Controller Beck, did you have the details over, it's like, excuse me if I'm wrong, I thought it was like 1.5 or 1.8 last year and we voted upon it. I'm just curious, other allocation to capital, where did we pull that money from?
All right, I'm gonna need her for backup, but at the same time, so we have the Truck City TIF at $400,185.31. We have the Madison Avenue TIF, $595,000. We have the Kirkyard TIF at $765,000. We have the Police Department with funds of $72,000. We have environmental at $100,000. We have your ARPA, which came from the City Council, at $500,000. We have community development at $200,000, and now this Hard Rock Casino donation at $500,000, coming to a total of $2,792,100.
I get you, Chief.
$792,140.
Yes, hard to say.
I appreciate it, and the math adds up. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you.
I've been fighting crime all day.
I see the beard.
Not in the
I've
county at
never
all.
seen you with this much facial hair in my life. So just know we appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right. So okay, we're back up to 2.7. All right. Gary loves the dogs. Gary loves the dogs.
That's a lot.
If
And
I can make a
cats.
comment, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So I started out in City of Gary in 1999 as an animal control officer. In 1999, the shelter was in need of major repair. And so out throughout my 25 plus year law enforcement career, the team that works down that has worked in just terrible conditions. We haven't had a facility to be able to do front-facing work, education work, when it comes to animals and animal support. And a lot of people think of it just dogs depending upon your experience with animals, but it's really a public health concern. And so I really want to thank the mayor, Eddie Melton, for going forward with the Compassion 1 and 2 to see how we operate in general. Now I know it's a lot of funds being expended in all places, especially during this time period right here. But what I will say, not only as an employee for several years, but also a resident all of my life, I really would like to see this project be successful. And so I think the work has been done to do that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and I appreciate the administration and the staff for, getting these dollars. I'm going to need your help when this next ordinance I try to push your creativity. So thank you all, colleagues. Councilman Tolliver.
And real quick, while you're there, can you please state to the public where this is going to be located again?
Yeah, this is going to be located, the address is going to be 950 Jefferson Street, am I correct? 940 Jefferson Street. And so if you're familiar with General Services, that it's just a couple of blocks over between that and Broadway.
Great job, Chief.
Thank you so much.
Colleagues, anything else? All right, well, thank you all so much. Any comments of heads, departments? Anybody want to say anything before we can close the meeting?
Great. Thank you for this opportunity. Really, just to say thank you to the council for your support over the last 13, 14 days through this Derecho event. I have heard that this event, and you have all heard, more like a Category 2 hurricane. I've been in the energy business for 40 years and here at the City Hall for almost 3 years, and I've seen every kind of storm possible and every kind of outage, and I have never seen the damage that was caused by this outage. When I see trees that are 40 and 50 inches in, wide and around that are twisted, they're not just broken, they're twisted. It is really something to see from someone who's seen it just about all. And so I thank you for the support, and I, like you, Councilman, I thank the team, and I tell them every morning when we talk, and we've talked every day since then, thank you for your commitment, your patience, not only your patience with each other and your patience with the staff, but your patience with the community, because people are hurting. And it doesn't take long to walk over to Hudson Campbell and walk in there and see people laying on cots with just don't know what tomorrow looks like. And so it gets emotional for me to see what people are going through. And I thank you for that, because we try to bring some life and loosen up a little bit, but at the end of the day, people are hurting, and it's our job, it's our privilege to support and help. So I just want to thank you for being there and your support. The administration knows it, the mayor knows it, and I certainly appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Chief.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So, going through the centers and watching, and the city provide those cots for everyone, are we taking any kind of survey or trying to figure out, are these homeless individuals, or are these individuals that homeless were damaged?
That's a good question and an interesting question. I've been over there the last 2 days, and I was talking to one of the gentlemen who was leading up the effort there, and he said that they're trying not to ask or embarrass folks with questions, but they do know that there's homeless folks that are in that crew. We've been averaging about 120 people a night there. But to answer your question, yes, there's probably some there, but there's some people that are newly homeless based on this storm.
Right. I was going to ask, because I think we eventually, the city needs to start working with our mental health and our health facilities to try to create a firm center for those individuals that are actually homeless.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is an opportunity that we're going to have to face. I agree.
Okay.
Yes.
So, excuse me, I'm not certain if you guys, well, you guys should be aware of the mental health. So we do have a therapist on hand. She has been going out today. She was out at Roosevelt Park Pavilion. We are offering those services, so for the community who needs help, for this situation and for other situations, it is a free service that the health department does provide. There are other vendors or community partners as well. So if someone does need that help, they can reach out to the health department. Currently, our phones are a bit crazy, but they can always send us an email. If they want to email me personally, they can. My email address is K as in kite, Walker, WALKER @gary.gov if they need services for mental health. So that is a service that we are providing. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Walker, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Are you located in Hudson and Campbell, or are you still at the old building?
We're currently at our old building. However, we can take that person or that, they can go to an off-site location. Yeah, for privacy.
That was all. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you so much. Adjourned.